Yo, what's up, man? This is breakdown with TJ. I just got off the phone with one of my homeboys, and he was asking me about some of the vlogs that he's been looking at on YouTube, talking about how the newcomers are driving down the rates. Like I said, I've been in the game for like 2 years. January made 2 years. I have my opinion about it because I took it literally the same way that he did when I first came to the game last year. When an old head told me, because you knew you're not gonna get the same rates that I would get because I'm a veteran, because you gotta get out there and prove yourself. Which I think some of it is true, and then I think some of it is just opinions and thoughts about, I guess however you look at it. Like I said, I'm not a truck driver. I sit behind the scenes and I analyze things for what it is. As a new booty, we do bring the rates down when we first get into the game because my opinion is we don't have a choice. We don't understand lanes. We haven't been mentored. Some of us never drove before. Some of us never been owner operators with our own authority, or we've been leased on. So now we got to find the lanes. We got to find the pattern. We got to find out what the market is. And on the other hand, we have the brokers, which you have to develop a relationship with them. So when they ran my MC for the first time, they're like, oh, so you knew, so you ain't never hauled before. So they gave me whatever I can get in order to build that relationship. Some people make you wait 1 day, 30 days, 6 months, a year, 2 years. It all depends on what type of insurance coverage you have to pull a certain freight. It depends on how long you've been active with your MC. It could be a lot of different variables on why we take the freight that we take when we just coming into the game. It's not that we want to drive the market down. It's because some of it we don't understand, or some people don't really want to deal with us because we haven't matured yet into the game, or we're not seasoned. So as I was explaining to him, it's just my opinion, like I said. Trying to prove yourself with your new MC, you're going to have to pull freight for people. They might lowball you until you get the credibility, or you get the time to say 30 days until you can pull for like a Coyote or C.H. Robinson. To my opinion, TQ are going to lowball the shit out you anyway. So it don't even matter. That's just what they do, whether you're a veteran or whether you are new booty. Okay? So I was explaining that to him. Sometimes we have no choice. And in my opinion, I look at it like this. Let's fast forward to what's going on right now. Do you really think it's enough trucks or enough new booties that are driving the rate down right now? It's not that many new truck drivers coming into the game to drive the rate down right now. So that's why I say some of it is true, some of it is not. The rate's been looking bad since fucking August. I mean, we had Labor Day. Labor Day picked up a little bit, you know what I mean? But after that, it's like, it don't even feel like it's the peak season in trucking. This has nothing to do with new booties driving the rates down. And he was just telling me, he was like, hey man, like, I'm listening to all this content. They talking about, the new booties driving the rate down, this and that and another. And I feel like this, bro. Some of it is true, some of it is not. But everything doesn't fall on new carriers bringing the rate down. It's all about supply and demand. It's all about supply and demand. And right now, trucks are in demand. Well, I ain't gonna say trucks in demand because they don't really want to move the freight like they used to, or what it was last year. I ain't gonna say like they used to. Freight is always there. It's about what the person is willing to pay to move it. And that comes from the carrier, the shipper, the customer. If the customer don't want to pay a certain amount of money to move that freight, we can't demand that rate. Or we can demand it, but that don't mean we gonna get it. And if the broker is really have that much money put into the load and don't want to give it to us, we can't force it. We got to move on to the next thing. And guess what? Somebody got to take it. So like I said in my vlog before, and I told him, I said, man, it's like this. Your money may not be my money. I got a family just like you got a family. So if I got to take this cheap ass freight to rob Peter to pay Paul until I can establish myself, or until I can find a better lane, pretty much with the shit we doing now, to be honest, with the rates, the way the rates are, we really just doing enough to get by and hoping that it gets better. That's what some of us got to do. When we had the little situation down in Miami where they blocked the freeways, the thing over in LA when they blocked the freeways, demanding higher wages and things like that, It wasn't enough of us to make a dent and saying, hey, we're going to stop trucking until they raise the rates. I believe that takes a boycott, just like back in the civil rights movement. 90% of the industry is owner-operators with 50 trucks or less. Some even less than 10 trucks, because a lot of them are just driving their own trucks. They don't even, they don't even have multiple trucks or fleets. So in order to really make a dent in anything, strength is in numbers. Strength is in numbers. When you want to get gun laws passed, when you want to change a bill, you want to get something, strength is in numbers. I just believe that as an owner-operator, our numbers is not as strong as we want to make it seem, but we come on YouTube and other vlogs and we talk about, the rates are bad, we need to stick together, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. But if you sitting on $100,000 a year and I got $10,000 and I'm barely getting by and I got to feed my family, how can I boycott with you? It's not like all of us putting our money in a pot, working together, saying, hey, we're going to take care of each other like a Muslim nation or something, or a Black Panther nation. So trucking is funny, man. It's funny. I think we mean well, we say the right things, but a lot of times we don't work together in order to overcome what they're putting us against. And that's major carriers. The people that's got multiple trucks, multiple connections, pockets deeper than ours. We're fighting against them all the time, whether you leased on or whether you're owner operator. So at the end of the day, it's really about what you choose to do. It's what you choose to do. Do you really want to take the cheap freight? It's on you. If the lane is paying $2 a mile and I can get $2.15 and you can't get $2.15, that's your choice. Just know you have the ability to negotiate. But you also need to do your research on what your lane is doing. And I will say that again. I had to break it down to my boy and let him know what it mean by cents per mile. And I try to be real as possible with him. Think about this, like if you got a load that's doing paying $500 and it's doing 150 miles, your cents per mile is going to be higher than a person that's doing 700 miles and getting paid $1,000. So, you know what I mean? Or $1,200. You just got to look at the math on cents per mile. What does it really mean? To me, cents per mile is okay, but at the end of the day, it's about the overall growth on what I made on profitability. You might make $400-500 to do 150 miles. That might be good to you if that's what cents per mile matter. Or you can get cents per mile and don't make shit because you needed $600 for your cost of operation, but you took the $400 load because the cents per mile was higher. But that's another episode. You know what I mean? We can talk about that later. Like I said, I just wanted to share this with y'all today about what my dude was saying about, the new guys are driving the rates down and things like that. Like I said, some of it is true in a sense. When you first come into the game, you might be driving the rates down. But when it comes to supply and demand like it is now, a lot of this doesn't have to do with new booty, because some of the veterans out here, and I mean veterans, aren't getting the rates that they're used to getting. The veterans aren't getting the rates that they're used to getting. And if you look on YouTube, you look at the other truck drivers talk about this issue and complain about it, you'll understand it has nothing to do with new booties right now. Right now, we're going up against a White House that's just putting tariffs on stuff. We having it out with other countries. They're lashing out. They're cutting back jobs on the things that we used to have, like imports and exports. So every time the White House changes or political things changes, I want to say White House because usually it happens during the presidency. I don't know if it happens at any other, local levels and state levels, but it usually changes the industry because you're looking at job cuts. You're looking at job growth. You're looking at trying to get our country out of a deficit and start spending more money with another country. You're looking at oil. You're looking at a lot of different things that can affect what we're doing. And like I explained to him, at the end of the day, it's about supply and demand, man. No matter what market you're in. If moving cars was the hottest market right now, a lot of us would probably drop some of the stuff and go to moving cars. If the sandbox or the oil field was the popular thing, a lot of us will probably jump off and do that because it's about supply and demand. But at the end of the day, what works for you works for you. And if you're comfortable with it, you're comfortable with it. And if you're not comfortable with it, change it. Hey, man, that's all I got for you real quick, man. This your breakdown with TJ, man. And I just want to be, y'all see more vlogs with me and stuff like that. Be sure to hit the like button, to subscribe. If you got comments, anything, drop it in the box, man. I'll try to respond back to y'all. And I don't know what this market looking like, bro. I can't say we gotta have faith, because if it was dealing with faith and all this other stuff, I think a lot of us would be a lot better than where we at. But it's really dealing with supply and demand at the end of the day. Supply and demand is where it's at. If they don't want to pay, they don't want to pay. But until next time, man, I'll holler at you, man. Peace.